Mark 15:34. And at 3 in the afternoon Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Skeptics often cite Mark 15:34 to argue that Jesus' cry of, my God, why have you forsaken me, indicates that he is not divine and is separate from God. However, this statement is a profound fulfillment of prophecy and demonstrates the depth of Jesus' sacrifice for humanity. Far from denying his deity, this verse highlights the unique role of Jesus as both God and Savior. Fulfillment of prophecy. Jesus' words directly quote Psalm 22:1, a messianic psalm that begins with a cry of anguish but ends in triumph and vindication. By quoting this psalm, Jesus is pointing to its ultimate fulfillment in his suffering and death. Psalm 22:16-18 vividly describes the crucifixion. They pierce my hands and my feet. They divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. This connection underscores that Jesus' cry is not a denial of his deity, but a declaration of his mission. Bearing the sins of the world. Jesus' cry reflects the spiritual weight of bearing humanity's sin. 2 Corinthians 5:21 states, God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. On the cross, Jesus experienced the separation from God that sin causes, fulfilling the penalty of sin on our behalf. Isaiah 53:4-6. Trinitarian unity. The cry does not indicate a fracture in the Trinity. Instead, it reveals the relational dynamic within the Godhead as Jesus, in his humanity, endures the punishment for sin. John 10:30 affirms the unity of the Father and the Son. I and the Father are one. The cry is not a separation in essence, but a reflection of Jesus' experience as the sin-bearer. Victory in death. Jesus' suffering and death were not the end. In John 19:30, he declares, "It is finished," signifying the completion of his redemptive work. His resurrection vindicates his identity and mission, as Romans 1:4 proclaims. Through the Spirit of holiness, Jesus was appointed the Son of God in power by his resurrection from the dead. Question: if Jesus' cry in Mark 15:34 points to Psalm 22, which ends in victory and vindication, how can skeptics deny his deity when he fulfills the prophecy and triumphs over sin and death? 2 Corinthians 5:21, Romans 1:4.